Heck of a win. I told the team before the game I had a feeling this was going to be a rock fight, and it certainly was at a high level. I mean, some might call that ugly basketball. I call it winning basketball. When you can't get shots to drop and you still find a way. You've heard us talk about it all year long. Like, one of the commitments we had to make this year was to defend, and I think you saw it in spades today. So again, I think Coach Bruce is doing a wonderful job putting her stamp on that program down there. Man, they play hard. They've got some good players with a lot of pride, and I knew it was going to be like that. I wished it wouldn't have been, but it was a heck of a game between two teams with a lot of pride, and we'll certainly take it and feel good about what we did to get it.
Kind of mentioned it, talking about it's winning basketball at the end of the day. What does that say about this team? Maybe to not play, the best game and when the shots were dropping, just to find a way to grind out and get a win.
No, I think it says what's inside of them, right? It's easy to win like you play, like when we played St. Louis the other day. All the shots went in, and we were cooking with grease. It's easy to play then. But in a game like this, where you can't get them to drop and everything is absolutely a grind, now you see what you're made of. And for us to be able to do that and really have very minimal breakdowns defensively and make them really earn, and they hit some big shots, but they had to earn them. They had to earn everything. We were on top of stuff coming out of timeouts. Our kids executed some situations defensively beautifully. We talk about all the time, if we make teams take tough shots, we'll win. And we did the job on the boards, relatively speaking, but I thought just the kind of shots we made them take over and over and over was the difference in the game.
You guys are obviously 7-2 now, 5 in a row. One of your best starts in your tenure. I mean, how impressive you've been with just the way this team has come out of the gate and played at a high level?
No, I'm not afraid to use the word impressed with this group. Here's like I'm impressed with the way they show up at practice. Like tomorrow, we've been however many days in a row without a day off, and we've had game after game after game, and they'll be up in the morning lifting at 7:30, and they'll do their work, and they'll come in the afternoon, and we'll put a plan together, and over 2 days they'll be locked into that plan, and that's I think the difference so far 9 games in with this group from some other groups that I've had is their ability to game plan and to understand it, and then to go out and give me that honest effort. So, I've said this before we ever played a game. This is a fun group to coach, and then when they act like that in practice and they do what they're supposed to do, and they trust me that I'm not going to run them into the ground in practice. We can do some different stuff, and it just makes us that much better. So I think it speaks volumes to the leadership we have on the group, the buy-in we have in the group, the want-to we have in the group, the whole bit. I'm eager to play again already. They may need a little bit of a rest, but we'll head on over to Pittsburgh and see what we got.
I guess for the players, how do you guys kind of keep this momentum that you built moving forward into the rest of non-conference play?
I would just say, I think we, as a team, we understand what we have to do and how to play, and just coming out and being ready for practice, and then coming out for shoot-around. And I know sometimes we give them a heart attack around shoot-around time, but I guarantee you we're ready to play and know that when we show up, even on our court, we have to show that we're the tougher team.
I think that we just trust each other, and we trust that we're going to all stick to the game plan and come out and do what we need to do as a team.
What do you guys kind of take away from a night like this where, shots weren't falling in the first half, there's some frustrations, but then you guys kind of get things clicking in the second half? What did you learn about this team, I guess, tonight?
I think that we learned we can face adversity, all different types, because it was frustrating in the first half, and for us to come out after halftime and have a big third quarter, you know, that means it's everything.
Yeah, I just say it shows a lot about our team and people stepping up and talking in huddles while there's dead balls and just being leaders and just uplifting everyone. And I think that shows a lot about our team.
Coach, you kind of mentioned, or Alex just kind of mentioned that, you know, the team was kind of frustrated going into half. What adjustments did you make for that second half?
Really, I didn't make any. You know, we talked about how good we were defensively, and there was two things that we had to be better at. You know, we had to communicate a little bit better on some parts in their offense where they a little bit hurt us in the first half. And then really what I told them on offense, I mean, we talked about a couple things, but I just said if we keep getting those shots, they're going to go in. We talked about a little adjustment our post had to make with where we were posting versus where we had to get in post against their switches. And then, you know, we talked about putting the ball on the rim, being tough enough to just go put the ball on the rim over and over. And we started the third quarter putting it on the rim. Then all of a sudden they collapse and pop, pop, pop. We hit a couple big threes and we flipped the score pretty quick. And then, you know, felt like we were in pretty good control at that point.
I remember you talking about Notre Dame, how much these in-state games matter. Do you think these in-state games, like the one against IUPUI, matters a little bit more than the regular season?
I don't know about more, but it better matter because, like, you know, we're a big game on their schedule. I mean, you know, an hour up the road, like, they want every bit of this and the chance to beat us. And like, believe me when I tell you, they enjoy winning if they do. You know, our kids had to make this a big game on our schedule. You know, that might be a little bit harder. And that's not, I'm not being disrespectful. You know, it's like, it's just a little bit different, right? And so, you know, we're going to get every team's best shot. You know, and we're on a good run. You know, we're winning games. We've got a good record. Blah blah blah. Okay, well now, like, we're going to get your best shot. We're going to be that team for everybody, and we're used to that here. So these guys got to embrace that. Got to understand what that is. You know, Allie mentioned, like, you know, they give me heart attacks on game days and shoot around. But like, here's the other thing with this team, like, that I really am impressed with. They let me coach them hard. They let me coach them hard. And I'm not saying they always like it, but I think they get it. You know, and you know, they may leave that locker room that day, and I might have some, you know, nicknames that probably nobody would want. But they come the next day, and they make those adjustments. And you know, not every team will let you coach them that way. You know, I think Alex mentioned trust, you know, and in those moments where I'm losing my mind on them, like I think they find a way to get to that point where, okay, he's doing this for a reason, right? And it's not easy, and that's why this program is for everybody. But we got 12 kids in there that are in the right place, and we got to keep their heads in the right space. And it's got a chance to be all right.
Alex, you got a little bit more time today and a little bit more active performance with Marie being in foul trouble. How do you think you did today? How do you think your performance was?
Honestly, I wasn't worried about my personal performance. I just knew that we prepared a lot, and I just needed to remember, like, all the preparation, everything that was told to me just to do. And I mean, with doing well, I guess that comes more playing time with it.
But how do you think you did?
That's all I got. You got anything?
I do have one. So obviously, like you said, the foul shooting, your shooting from the field wasn't falling that well in the first half. But your free throw shooting, you know, you guys were 17 for 25. How important is that aspect in the game?
Well, in a game like this, like, you got to manufacture points. So being able to get to yourself to the free throw line becomes monumental. You know, so. you know, maybe some other games it doesn't come into a factor, but in this one, every point was going to matter. And so clearly, you know, our ability to get there and our ability to keep them from getting there was big because, you know, they've got some good athletes. They put the ball down and try to drive it, and so we can play physical without fouling. That's one thing we've proven over the last few games. You know, so that was good to see and ended up being a major league factor.
That's all I got. Thank you.
All right.